This is Q13 News at 5.
Man, oh man, that wind is roaring across western Washington tonight as potentially damaging winds slam the region and also threaten to leave thousands of people in the dark. We have live team coverage of the snow going sideways.
They're still digging out of more than 18 inches over on the Olympic Peninsula, and there's still more to come. I'm Steve Kiggins. I'll have a live report from Port Angeles.
Places like Monroe dealing with about a foot of snow, and as you can see, there is more snow today. Also, we are watching windy conditions. We'll have all of that for you coming up.
Yeah, all the snow, and now it's the wind, and the windstorm is going to be very powerful tonight. We'll have more coming up.
All right, first at 5, looks like our forecasters, just like Chief Meteorologist Walter Kelly, were right on the money as they predicted potentially damaging winds. And tonight, that's exactly what we're getting. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Flores.
And I'm Jamie Tompkins. The high wind warning has families all across western Washington just battening down the hatches tonight. Many of them already sitting in the dark after this week's snowstorm. Q13 Chief Meteorologist Walter Kelly is tracking those conditions from the Weather Center, and that could include wind gusts of up to 60 miles per hour.
And as you can see, our Q13 live crews are out in the thick of it, braving some absolutely grueling conditions out there. Hang in there, guys. We'll be with you in just a moment. But we want to get started with Q13 Simone Del Rosario in Burlington, where last hour it looked like the wind was going to blow her down. Simone.
Well, if it was looking like that last hour, it is absolutely happening this hour. I don't know if you guys can see just how bad this wind is. Actually, I fell into this ditch area where the snow's pretty deep, and I think this is probably a good spot for me to stay. Because if you just look, I don't know how well you can see it from the camera, but this wind is blowing so hard, just coming right over this way. We're blowing the wind east. The last time I checked, it was about 20 miles per hour this wind was blowing, but I know that it just continues to get fiercer. In fact, underneath this mask right here, which is absolutely necessary, I'm feeling the teardrops from my eye actually soak the bottom of my face coming in. We're gonna head over here because as much as we would like to all be home, I know you guys are all watching me from home, and thank goodness you're not out in this mess. Woo! We have people working real hard to just try to get their jobs done in what is really just an impossible storm. These guys have been out here for quite a long time. What they're doing, what are you guys doing right now?
Just trying to find the fuel cap so people can get home.
And how important is that right now? I mean, most people would say, hey, you just got to get home at this point.
Oh, we don't give up. We're home and all. We never give up. People got to get home.
So you need fuel for your cars to get home. They've been digging out these fuel caps for so long, but you can just tell this wind is becoming an impossible scenario. The beauty of snowstorms is, though, people pull together. This guy's helping you get fuel, and other people have been literally pulling people out of the snow so that they can get home. Take a look. Sometimes in the snow, strangers are your saving grace.
There's not always money for a tow truck, and in the storm it's good to have good people to be there for you.
Communities pulling together to pull you out of the worst of it.
I just helped them out.
There's a lot of people that shouldn't be on the roads today.
In a ditch or even a well-traveled road, many cars were no match for the snowfall in Burlington. But the snow could be conquered by the kindness of strangers.
Saw a guy with California plates with his wheels spinning over there and hopped out and gave him a push.
Is that a little dig right there, a guy in California plates?
Take it how you want. I'm just saying you didn't see us spinning out trying to get in here. We got four-wheel drive, but no, he's a nice guy. But he wasn't going anywhere without help.
Well, a little bit more help out here. Sam is still working on that fuel cap over here. And gosh, just in the last second, I feel like the wind's just given us a little bit of a break here in Burlington. But we're gonna expect wind like this to carry on throughout the night. And we're in a special part of the area right now where they're not only gonna see these windstorms, but they're also gonna see more snow. You saw how much snow I was standing in earlier, expecting more of it tonight. We're live in Burlington. I'm Simone Del Rosario, Q13 News.
All right, Simone, stay safe out there. Tonight, crews are still working to clear out downed trees and power lines on U.S. Highway 2. A helicopter above the highway took these images is here. Part of the highway is temporarily open tonight between Gold Bar and Money Creek, but it is expected to close down again tonight at milepost 46, just west of Skykomish. Now, the opening of the highway ended days of isolation for people living in Index, Skykomish, and other communities just cut off from supplies. Q13's Frankie Thompson tagged along as people delivered food and water to those in need, and she joins us live in Sultan with that part of the story. Frankie, these weather conditions are just unbelievable.
And we are not getting a break out here, Jamie. This wind is so bad, my photographer lost her favorite hat. She almost lost a glove. The wind is pushing us. We can barely stand out here because the wind is forcing us to move, and the ground is slick. That's exactly why WashDOT is closing. Excuse me, that's why they're closing Highway 2, because there is major concern about power lines and trees crashing down on the roads. But you know what? People are fighting through it. Several people in this community are taking it upon themselves to make sure that people who had to stay in their homes for the last several days with no power did not get left out in this storm.
Help is on the way to families surviving the winter cold near Stevens Pass with no electricity.
We need some peanut butter if we have any.
God bless them all. I'll tell you what, it's been a long 4 or 5 days.
Heavy snowstorms knocked out power for thousands of residents in King and Snohomish counties.
Oh, I've been up here all my life. This is the worst power outage I've ever seen.
For days, people have been trying to stay warm despite the freezing temperatures. Many of them stuck in the mountains because U.S. Highway 2 has been shut down for miles due to downed trees and power lines.
We are in kind of a disaster zone right now.
We put some water on there.
Braving the elements, their fellow neighbors formed a convoy to show them they weren't forgotten.
Small town life, that's what we do. It takes the average person to take care of their neighbors. It's a big thing. It's a Sky Valley. You know, that's what we are.
We will make another gas run.
Community members band together, collecting and delivering donations to communities hit the hardest by the snowfall.
I hope the power comes on there soon because this is ridiculous.
Snohomish County Public Utilities District and Puget Sound Energy are getting help from outside contractors to restore power. But crews say, unfortunately, it's not an easy fix.
We've spent, all night putting wire up and fixing poles, and then we come back to energize it, and trees have come back down through it again.
Frustrating for these crews who have been working all hours of the day and night, and now with the high winds in the forecast, the fear is more trees and limbs could come down. Families grab food, water, firewood, and fuel to help them make it through another storm.
We're probably up here for another 2 days, day or two. Our son's down the mountain, safe and sound with his grandpa. We haven't seen him since Sunday, though.
As families prepare for another dark winter's night, at least during the day, they're feeling the warmth of community.
And we do our best to take care of our own.
Now, the Washington State Emergency Management Division was also out here today offering voluntary evacuations. Today, Governor Inslee says he's been communicating with area mayors and local organizations to figure out exactly what the needs are here in this community and how the state can help provide those resources. Reporting live in Sultan, trying to catch my breath out here, Frankie Thompson, Q13 News.
You're doing a great job out there, Frankie. Thank you for those updates. Meantime, in East King County tonight, winds are expected to kick up to as high as 60 miles per hour.
And that is really concerning for people living in areas where trees are already weighted down with heavy snow. Q13 meteorologist Grace Lim is standing by live in North Bend, which is expected to take the brunt of tonight's storm. Grace?
Oh yeah, we're feeling it now. We felt it all day long. It has been windy here in North Bend, and every now and then, about every 30 seconds to 45 seconds, a strong wind gust will just blow through, making it hard to keep your balance and blowing that snow all over your face. So, okay, I do want to show you, we're in downtown North Bend, along North Bend Way. All of these businesses lost power about an hour ago, and as you can see, power has since been restored, but they're part of an outage that affected nearly 5,000 Puget Sound Energy customers, and outages and down trees will be the main threat as these elevated winds continue through tonight. Strong howling winds slammed North Bend Wednesday, blowing snow off surfaces like buildings and trees.
I kind of say it's Snowmageddon too after last year.
The windstorm sent residents scrambling to grocery stores to stock up on essentials.
I am getting suet for the birds, cat food for my cats, and groceries for the house. I made sure I had batteries, so if and when the power goes out, bring more firewood into the house for my wood stove and get ready.
It's always good to have extra stuff, especially like I was saying, somebody in the neighborhood doesn't have something, elderly people can't get out.
Easterly winds are expected to gust as high as 55 to 60 miles per hour through tonight, which can bring down trees and power lines that are weighed down by heavy, wet snow. The owner of Eastside Tree Works says crews will be up and running 24/7.
Easterly winds 60 miles an hour can be as destructive as 75-mile-an-hour winds from the southwest. So we have emergency crews on standby.
Rango stresses prevention is key to keeping you and your home safe during damaging wind events.
Going forward, looking for trees with any kind of defects in them, trees with cavities, trees that obviously dead trees are something that you want to have us look at.
And the strongest wind gusts recorded here in North Bend, about 41 miles per hour. But again, we could see occasional 55 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts through tonight. So again, be careful, especially if you're heading out on the roads. It's also kicking up that snow, so reducing that visibility. And again, we will keep an eye on these outages right now. No outages in effect in the North Bend area, but there are outages not too far from here over in Fall City. Live in North Bend, Grace Slim, Q13 News.
All right, Grace, thank you so much. And as Grace mentioned, the big concern with those high winds will be the power outages as gusts get stronger. This number is expected to increase. We want to take a look at the power outage map right now from Puget Sound Energy. At this moment, more than 13,000 customers are affected. And again, this is expected to increase throughout the night. Tonight's wind warning is just multiplying the problems for people already struggling just to get in and out of their homes. Q13's Hannah Kim is live in Monroe now with the conditions out there. Hannah.
Yeah, Brian, that is correct. And also, I want to tell you that WSP in the last 30 minutes sending us a strong message to tell the public that if you don't have to drive, you may want to stay off the roads. I want to show you Highway 2 right now in Monroe. It doesn't look bad, but many parts in Snohomish County, they say, is very, very deceiving, that many parts are just a complete ice rink. In the last 24 hours, WSP alone, they have reported to 54 different collisions. So that tells you that how icy and dangerous the roadways can be. Now, as many of us are out and about carefully, hopefully, there's a lot of people in Monroe, depending on where they live. Well, it's a challenge even getting in and out of their home because of all of this. There's about, I would say, a foot of snow in the Monroe area. Baby steps. Underneath a foot of snow is a driveway, a very long driveway. And if you look close, there's a wave. That's Maria Oling on the porch. Getting to her?
I'm getting there.
Took a few stops. No wonder she's barely left her Monroe home for the past 3 days.
I'm getting a little stir crazy, ready to go to work.
At least she has a stunning view and an energetic companion.
I know. I love it. I love it. If I had to be stuck somewhere, this is the best place to be stuck. We got salads, we have vino.
She is stocked up on a week's worth of food, and dinners are more elaborate.
Yeah, because I have some time to actually do it. So we've been doing roasts and all kinds of chili.
And Maria, who is a teacher, is spending a lot of time grading papers while schools are closed.
Our big joke lately is it will be teaching till July.
She's ready to get back to work, but with more snow and windy conditions blowing in today, it's uncertain when she will see her driveway. Yeah, so Maria there cooped up in her home for the past 3 days. She says she's ready to get out of there, but we just really don't know. And I want to point out in Monroe, it's very important. It's one of the areas there's a high wind warning until 10 p.m. tonight. So guys, if the wind picks up, it is very important that you are prepared. Have those flashlights, candles, blankets, have all of that in case that you are out of power. But hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed that it will stay not like this, where it's not windy right now. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, keeping our fingers crossed indeed. Hannah, thank you. Now to the Olympic Peninsula tonight. Take a look at what drivers in Port Angeles are dealing with tonight. More than 18 inches of fresh and heavy snow.
As you can see, they just got pounded on the Olympic Peninsula. Q13 Steve Kickens is live tonight for us in Clallam County. Steve?
Yeah, Jamie, 101 on the way into town. It's cleared out and it looks pretty good, but that might be some of the more reliable ways. The more reliable transportation is on horseback to get through all this snow. And we're talking like 18 inches, right? Look at all of this snow. And then if you look at some of these cars in these driveways, this stuff has just been piling up for days. This entire community is digging out. Downtown Port Angeles is buried, and the big dig has just begun.
I had this snowblower sitting in there gathering dust, and I bought it last year, and it paid for itself in one day. It was great.
John Madden's snowblower is getting a workout, but some can only use shovels.
The store's never been closed due to weather for a full day in 35 years.
Alan Turner and his wife run Port Bookin News, but business isn't that great today.
Tell everybody in Seattle if they want to come to Port Bookin News, they can park at First and Lincoln, but they only got another hour or so to get here.
Around the block, volunteers were digging out what's left of the town's temporary ice skating rink. The heavy snow was no match for the structure, and it collapsed onto itself overnight. Nobody was hurt.
Minor hope that we can actually get the rink operating again this weekend without a tent covering it. Not a real good chance of that, but there is a chance. So it's, I see we're kind of like the Seahawks. We had a great season, but it came to an abrupt ending. So
An abrupt ending for the skating rink, but what came next was people helping each other dig out from yet another deep freeze.
I didn't talk to anybody about money. This is just my town. Take care of your town.
So not only are they dealing with the persistent snow, but also this wind that's persisting, which could last all the way through 10 o'clock tonight, bringing forward almost 50-mile-an-hour gusts. For now, we're live in Port Angeles. Steve Kickens, Q13 News.
All right, Steve, thank you. And we're already seeing our first school closure for tomorrow. The Bellingham School District, as you see from this tweet, are canceling classes tomorrow because of the weather. Here's a look at that tweet from the district with more information there. Now, you can get the latest on school closures by downloading our Q13 News app. It is free. Just make sure to turn on notifications to get alerts sent right to your phone as the weather changes. Well, coming up, Chief Meteorologist Walter Kelly. He's really busy in the Weather Center tracking the forecast for the rest of the region. He'll be back coming up after the break. In the meantime, the strong winds tonight mean a risk of power outages.
But don't let that cold cloud the cold cloud you're thinking when it comes to staying warm. Next, we've got the biggest concern from doctors that they say could turn deadly.